Hello, everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are all doing well today. If you don't know who I am your girl Stephanie, aka Sassy Steph, a memoirs of a long arm quilter. And on Tuesdays, it's all about long arm quilting. It will be either via computerized edge to edge or me actually doing some custom work. This is a customer's quilt and he wanted an edge to edge, and by it being a king size, I wanted to bring you guys along with me. I believe I showed you his other quilt a while back that I did as well. So he did another big one and he asked your girl to quilt it for him. So let's see, is anyone in the chat? We have Beverly. Hello, Beverly. And we have Donna. Hello. Yes, I do appreciate it. I'm gonna set this right here so I can see it. Oh, and guys, we are currently, it just was announced that we are under a severe thunderstorm watch warning. No, we have a warning. So I'm like, really? And the clouds were still really white. I went to the bathroom and came back and it was really dark. So I'm not worried until I see lightning. So we're going to go ahead and start. But before I do start, I have a couple announcements. The first one being next Friday, I'll be hosting the Harvest Delivery Quilt. I'm looking forward to doing this with you guys. Go ahead and get your pattern. It is free. It's a free pattern over at 10sisters.com. The information is listed down in the description box. I made sure I put it in there today. Yes, and also there is a link to their gridded interfacing. You don't have to get your interfacing from them. You can get it either from maybe your local shop, maybe Joann have it. I know they sell it on Etsy, and you can get it even on Amazon. I am doing the finish that's for my quilt to be 27 by 27. That means I'm cutting 2-inch squares. That means I have to, when I was looking for interfacing, I had to make sure it said 1.5-inch finished. Okay. If you're trying to do the 18 by 18, you need to make sure that your interfacing says 1 inch. And if you're doing the 36 by 36 inch quilt size, you need to look for the interfacing that says 2 inches. Okay, so again, that is Harvest Delivery. We'll be starting that on next Friday. We'll be going from 6 to 8 because I don't want to encroach on Becca's time. So 6 to 8, we will finish it. I hope to finish it with you guys during that time. And yeah, so that's that. Let me see what else, who else is in the chat. Okay, and the next announcement before we get started is QUILTCON, y'all. QUILTCON is coming here to North Carolina, Raleigh to be exact, for the dates February 22nd through the 25th. Registration for members of the Modern Quilt Guild opened up today. They have a plethora of classes. If that's something you desire to do, go ahead and register. Now, if you don't care to be a member, for non-members, the registration opens up on September 12th. If I'm not mistaken, to make sure I got my date right, September 12th. So, with that being said, I need for you guys to consider what you're doing. If you're coming or not, go ahead and make up your mind. I'm going to tell you, the hotels that they have listed already on their website has been sold out. So be willing to travel a little ways from the venue to secure hotel, your rooming and lodging and stuff like that. So that's, and the last announcement, guys, as you can see, your girl is over 500 subscribers. I am totally happy. I am super duper excited. if you were here on last night, you were witnessing the fiasco of me trying to get the bot up and running for this giveaway. Now, Donna, Handmade by Ying, she won the giveaway. She so graciously said, no, go ahead and give it to another. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold off on the giveaway until next week, Friday, when we do harvest delivery. Okay, guys? We'll do it then, and hopefully by then I'll have worked out all the kinks with the bot. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Hey, Susan. Susan says, I just signed up today for QUILTCON. Hope to see you there. Yep, you know your girl's going to be there. And yay, congratulations. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. Now, again, this is a customer's quilt. I'm going to let you guys move out the way and let you guys see it. It's absolutely beautiful. This is a panel. It has butterflies on it. I did see a dragonfly somewhere when I was doing it. On this fabric right here, he did butterflies. And yes, I did not misspeak. It was a he that did this beautiful quilt. He is an amazing quilter. Now, I'm going to tell you, I am trying to persuade this man, okay? The backing is pure TD1 white. I was walking around with gloves on all while I was loading the backing of this quilt. It stressed me out, y'all. It stressed the heck out of me. Hey, Teresa, thank you so much for coming. Susan is in the house. Yes, yes. Thank you guys so much for being here. But yes, I'm going to do an edge to edge. I already have it loaded. It's a preloaded called 3-leaf clover. I think that's what it's called. But they said clove. But I think they were meaning clover. And because this quilt has a border on it, and his borders were a little bit on the wavy side, I did not base according to the edge of this quilt. What I did was, because I wanted that seam to be perfectly straight, I did it on that very first border seam. I put my channel locks on, and I ran the seam up against the front of my presser foot to make sure I had, this seam as straight as possible. So that's what I did for this quilt. I do have my toggle cables on. It's marking the outside border and the inside border. And he got some beautiful mitered corners on this quilt, okay? And yeah, that's what I have on both sides. I did not mark the center because in the center he has a panel, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. I do have it all set up. The only thing I have to do at this time is find my mouse. I have to trim off the sides. I didn't do that. And what I do here for that is I do have a tool that says with scissors on it, and it's telling me that I can cut and trim this quilt. And as I stated before, I like to sew a little bit off the pattern so I can make sure that all the edges are secure. I'm just running it down to make sure that it will be just how I want it to be. And I click it, and then I can accept it. And I already set my stitches up to sew a little bit. I want to make this horizontal. I'm just making sure that my stitches are not on the outside. As I was saying, I wanted to make sure that when I go off the edge, I just want to make sure that all of my edges are secure. Okay. Something, is it up against something? What is it up against? Okay. I can accept that this needs to be cut off. Now I'm going to accept this side to be cut off. I have this pattern set at accept. I do not want to stay in trim mode. Okay. I have this pattern is set at, let's see, transform. Did it disappear? It's not showing me anymore what I have it set at. That's weird. But I know I changed the width to 18 inches. I don't know if it's because it's been sitting in idle mode for so long. Because I had this set up a while ago. I'm waiting for the live to start. I had it set up early, way earlier today. Okay, let's hit go. It's telling me that hold on. Okay. Okay. Ugh. I thought I had it all set up to go. It's just telling me now that I'm starting too far down and that I need to go ahead and adjust my quilt. So only thing I have to do, excuse me from walking in the view of the camera, is to start back here. That totally sucks because I was so prepared. That's still good. Make sure that, but that's a good thing though. It's about the same amount of inches elsewhere from the there. Okay. Now before I start, let me go ahead and now I have to reposition my needle. And zoom out so I can zoom in. Reposition. I'm telling it where my sew head is. Okay, I should be good. I should be good. Everything else still apply. Making sure my magnets go back in place. And my last magnet. Again, these magnets are very, very strong. If you get them, please make sure you watch your fingers. I got them from Harbor Freight. Okay. So what happened was I had the top of my quilt too far down. The quilt pattern, as I said, I had expanded it to 18 inches. So I was too far this way, so it wouldn't have been able to have all the room that it needed to quilt it. Now that I moved it up, I do have the needed amount of space. Now it's going to move into position. I have my stitches set at 11 stitches per inch. I need to pick up my bobbin thread, and here we go. Okay, if you guys have any questions, just go ahead and throw them out. Guys, aren't you guys excited? I am. Let me know if you guys are going to QUILTCON down in the comments. I am looking forward to QUILTCON. I've been talking about it for the last couple of years. And then when I took ill, and when I was thinking or contemplating on giving up on quilting, I was really wanting to sell my machine and everything. I just had enough of the YouTube life. And my husband go, oh, so I guess we're not going to QUILTCON. I was like, what? He was like, you not down there sewing or quilting anything like that, so there's no need for me to drive you all the way to QUILTCON. And I think that is the thing that pulled me up out of my funk. You're not gonna tell me you're not taking me nowhere. So I'm really, really excited about actually going to QUILTCON and staying the days. Now, I looked at a lot of the classes on there. I only listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 classes that I wouldn't mind taking. And I'm not gonna lie, when I saw the price of those classes, I was like, honey, there is always YouTube, okay? There is YouTube. I'm gonna learn how to do it. But I think one of them was a lecture for the temperature quilts. I just want to see what someone someone else has to say about it. Now I just saw lightning. Okay, so as soon as this pass is done, we're done. Lord, please let that work be okay. And another one that I really wanted to take was to avoid the gridlocks with grids when you're longarm quilting. And I really wanted to take that class too, because my Joy quilts I did a grid on, and my little mini sew quilt I did a grid on. And I'm not gonna kid you guys, after that live I did of the Joy quilt, I took every stitch out. Okay, well, my daughter did. She did it for me because she loves to undo my picking for me. We took all of those stitches out and I redid it because I was not happy. I kept getting confused. Even on the live, I was getting confused on a good pattern, because I didn't like the fact that I started a line, and because I didn't have enough space, that I had to go find that exact spot and then try to connect the lines and stuff and all that. I didn't like that look. So I did it a different way, and like the W style, and that worked for me. But yeah, lightning. I did unstitch. So okay, now I told you this gentleman before, he had an all white, just a pretty much all white quilt before, and he wanted purple. No. I think we ended doing a purple, but he wanted a contrast color. He didn't want it to blend in. He didn't want it to do nothing. He just wanted the stitching to stick out. And I'm like, sir, are you sure? Are you sure you really want to do that? 3 quilters tried to talk him out of it. And he was like, nope, that's what I want. And then he was like, oh, it turned out so beautiful. And I'm like, to this day, that's the quilt that I dislike the most. It's not my quilt, it's his quilt. And he loved it, so that's all that matters. He loved it. So when he dropped this one off, I was like, oh Lord. He said, you know, I had to have a white background. I'm like, why? The backing. Why? Just why? Why couldn't it have been dark blue? You know, some white. I'm like, dang it. And I was like, okay, Lord, help me, because I got chickens down here, dust flying everywhere. So I have a sheet that I'm going to put over it tonight when I'm finished, so no dust and all that kind of stuff. You got to protect your customer quilts because one, that's your word that's on the line, that's your profession that you're trying to create is on the line, and you don't want your name out there in the street as mud. Okay, so yeah, this is going to be covered up because I don't want nothing to happen to this quilt, especially the backside of it. That's right. You got to make your customers happy. Thank you, Peggy, and welcome. Thank you so much for coming. But yes, I am loving, loving, loving this quilt. He did a phenomenal job. And the last quilt, I was like, when I was loading it, he had a lot of white on white. And I'm like, do you know some of this white on white is backwards? I want you to know this before I quilt it. Because I don't want nobody to say he didn't tell you. He had it flipped. And he was like, it's going to be okay. I was like, so you know, we have this, you know, in between us. So you know, I don't want to say she didn't even tell me. He is such a sweet guy. I really, really love him. Now, I'm not his long armor, his normal long armor. I'm his large quilt long armor, and I'm okay with that. He goes to my friend, actually. Her quilting system is not as big as mine. So she does a lot. She doesn't do computer work. Everything she does is custom. And she does big work, not the small intricate stuff. She does really big work. So this pattern is so beautiful on this quilt, and I'm so glad I chose this blue because it's still going to give him enough pop that I think that he's going to like it. Well, I know he is because he gave me free reign to do what I wanted, as long as the thread was blue. So, guys, guess what? I'm cleaning off the long arm probably 3 minutes prior to going live. Well, this side right here, because I wanted to make sure where my motor is. I wanted to make sure nothing fell down over there, and I have threads sitting there that need to be put away. I don't know why I didn't put it away. I just didn't put it away, okay? I found my camera! I found my small camera. I am super duper excited. Now I hope this thing works again. So hopefully next time I'll be able to get a better shot. My husband and I were talking about getting a mount to go up to our ceiling, and you have my camera and then get the wide lens, and maybe you guys can see the quilting from above that way. But I think I'm gonna have to have it like over my head and then angled down, so we have to figure that out. There's a lot of things that we have to figure out. I'm working on getting my mic, a new mic, so you guys won't hear all that clicking. Because my husband was like, babe, I don't like that sound, because he watches my videos. He's like, that sound, I know it's driving your people crazy too. So I am working on it too. But right now, we got to get these chickens up out of here. So my main focus and all my funding is going to this chicken coop and getting sure my girls are okay. You probably can't hear them as well because I got the machine running. This is so stinking cute. And because this quilt is big, now I did my own. I did a king size for our bed. It was more like between a king size and queen and king size. Okay, I noticed the thread getting pulled. The the pattern that I chose for it, it was more close together, and it turned out beautiful. I really, really did like it. But now the more I do bigger quilts, I personally like it, though it's the customer's choice. I personally like to have the quilting not be so dense because you want the quilt to be flowy, you know? I do anyway. So I am glad that I'm, I'm learning to like the bigger designs and not have everything so compact. Okay, I see. I don't know what it is about long arming. Sometimes you can go through and you can make sure you pulled all the like little loose threads and stuff that's coming out of the seams. It's as soon as this vibration comes from the long arm, it brings out all of the little thread. And this is most likely from either when he unpicked or he had fraying fabric that was left over in the seam, and that's okay. It doesn't do anything. You just don't want it to get caught in your press, in your foot of your machine. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn my tension down just a touch because I don't like when it came out of a curve. That's much better. It looked like it was pulling the bobbin just a little too tight. Much better. If I wouldn't have tweaked it, would it have mattered? No, because once they get washed, those threads, they're gonna nestle down and everything. I just like a particular look. This is so beautiful. I'm gonna show you guys. Hi, Pat. Thank you so much, honey. I hope you're doing good. It slowed down with the lightning, so I'm happy about that. Now this machine can go a lot faster. I never run my machines at full throttle because I don't, they say it's just not good for them to be there at all the time. I just do it none of the time because I'm like, I don't want that. I'm always thinking it's going to shake itself so hard that it's going to jump off the rails, and I know it won't. You know, I hope it won't. But no, even if I was quilting free motion, I I'm saying this now. I need y'all to remind me to do it. Slow down, because when you quilt fast, the faster you go, and some things, especially like with swirls, it's good to get that momentum and do your swirl. But if you see how this machine is taking its time, it's keeping at a steady rhythm, your stitches will look so much better. And when I get to free motion quilting, I know it, but I'm not executing it. And that's what causes me to not like my stitches a lot of the time, because I'm seeing the movement, the jaggedness of, okay, you should have been, if you would have slowed down your quilting, this would have looked so much smoother. Learning to breathe when you're doing free motion quilting, that's important. Learning how to stand, because when you're free motion quilting, you can't just stay in the same spot. You got to learn how to breathe and step. Breathe and step down the length of your frame. It's that, and then you thinking about, okay, all kinds of stuff, what else, ever else that you have going on in your brain. You gotta think of all those things when you're free motion quilting. So you're wanting to have your stitches look nice and smooth and stuff like that. And I already shared with you guys, that's like one of my biggest fears, because I'm believing I know I had supposedly have another customer quilt, but I'm not 100% sure it's gonna happen. I don't know what's going on with her, but I want to do my giraffe quilt. I haven't marked it yet, because after I marked my joy quilt and my soul quilt, the blue marker, because I let that blue marker stay in a little bit longer, I needed to make sure that that blue soaked out. And I want to make sure that when I get ready to mark on that quilt top, that flimsy, that I'm not going to have that ink in my quilt so long. I don't know if you guys can see. This part of the screen is a darker green. All this is red, meaning it's not about to sew right now. But this is a darker green and this is a lighter green. It only has this much to sew versus all of this, which has already been sewn. Let me see if there are any more comments. Now, when I decided to get a long arm, my intention was never to have a long arm. My intention was to have a mid arm. I wanted to be able to sit down and quilt. Now, I have this saddle seat that allows me to do so. But my husband was like, he kept looking at the long arms, and I'm like, that's not what I want. I want this mid arm. And of course, the sales lady was, no, oh, he's talking about a long arm. Oh, sir, yeah, let me tell you all what it can do. So, he was like, he'd rather invest in the long arm. So the first one we did get was the Handy Quilter Avante. I love that machine. However, the longer I had it, I noticed that I was uncomfortable when I was standing with it. And how I had to keep holding my neck. And then I went to Washington State to visit a friend that I met on Instagram, and she had this machine. And when I used it, I didn't have any of the problems that I was having. And she didn't even have the lift or anything on hers. And I made sure that I had my machine when I got it. I went home, sold my machine. I didn't really want a new one until we moved into this house. So we waited until after we moved into this house, got my machine, went to Virginia for the training. Yeah. And it was the best decision that, we made, as far as quilting. And I did get a lot of extra features on it to make my quilting life a little bit easier. Okay guys, it is almost done. As you can see, we only have that section to go. And then I'm going to show you guys what it looked like. And then we're going to get on off of here. We're definitely not doing this whole quilt time because I think we'll be here until after midnight. And I'm still seeing little lightning strikes. You're not supposed to run your machine. I am being silly right now, running the machine while it's lightning. You do not want to run these machines, in fact, any machine, when it is lightning, because though it's on a surge protector, you don't do it. You just don't do it. I think my girls has gotten used to hearing the hum of this machine because they're being really good. And this, I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the saddle seat. And it can go up really, really high, and it can go down really, really low. Let me see, who is it made by? I'll find a link and put it out in the description box. It has oak wood. That's not who I got it from my dealer, but it has Oakworks therapeutic equipment on the label. Okay. Come on. And when it is lightning and stuff like that outside, in fact, when you are not using your machine, you are not just to turn it off, you are to unplug it as well, so a power surge will not come, especially if you have a computer on it. Unplug it. I keep thinking somebody is coming in behind me, and I forget these chickens are here jumping on this box, on and off a box I put in their brooder so they can stop knocking the food over. Do you think that stopped them? No. A little bad butt keep knocking the dang on food over. They were knocking the water over for some reason because one of the girls like to get on top of the waterer and sit there and look at me when I'm coming in and out of the house. Okay, it's telling me my sewing is complete. I can say okay. My machine will still be running, and I have to make sure I turn off the machine. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I am going to move the camera just a wee bit so you can actually see the stitches, okay? So if you get dizzy, 1, 2, 3, I'm moving it. I don't know if you can see that beautiful pattern. If I can get it closer. There you go. Oh, it came out so pretty. So pretty. That's as far as I can go down because I don't have a long enough cord. Okay. Pardon the mess. I know y'all saw some mess. Okay, one more time. I'm going to go ahead so I can end it here. Okay, guys, that is it. That is it for tonight, again, because due to the storms, and I usually try to only do 45 minutes on Tuesday nights anyway. But guys, I hope you enjoyed it. So now and probably tomorrow, I'll hope to finish this quilt. If not tomorrow, definitely by um, what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is Wednesday, the first day of back to school. Definitely by Friday, it should be done. So, you guys have any questions? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, Teresa. Thank you so much for coming by. I thought it was beautiful. He did an amazing job on it. This is a customer's quilt. If you hadn't um, got a chance to hear me talk about my lovely customer, again, I do want to remind you that QUILTCON registration is open to those members. It did open today. If for non-members, those who do not want to be a part of the Modern Quilt Guild, the registration will open up on September 12th. I'm letting you know now that all of the hotels that they have on their website that are close to the venue have been sold out. So keep looking on there. Maybe you can get a room if people cancel. Thank you, Beverly. Thank you so much. Yes, we will be staying safe. While I'm talking, let me go ahead and log this computer down. And yeah, so, and another thing to think of is next week, Friday, harvest delivery. I'll be doing on a Friday. Let me save my file and get out. Quit Navigator. Shut down. Yeah. So that's next week, Friday, between 6 and 8. Well, from 6 to 8, I should say. We'll be doing harvest delivery. Go ahead and get your free pattern. Go ahead and get your interfacing and, of course, your fabric, and have your iron ready. And we'll rock and roll on that. And then, again, the giveaway will be Donna won my 500 giveaway, but she so graciously said, no, I want you to give that to another subscriber. We love you. So what I'm going to do is on that day, I will do the drawing again, and hopefully, just hopefully, your girl will have her act together on how to work that bot, okay? If not, we'll be doing it old school again until I continue to research and figure out what's going on. So that's it. Let me look at the comments one more again. Yes, hey, day girl. Love you, love you, love you. So, yeah, that is it. I hope you guys have an amazing evening. Have an amazing rest of your week. Your girl's about to go in the house and get safe from this, I don't know, lightning and stuff like that, because I know my children and they're scared. They're scared of lightning. Both of them. One of them grown, okay? But, yeah, so he might still be asleep, to be honest. So until the next time you guys see me, guys, be blessed. Bye.